What's going on, YouTube? This is Suze with FullCourtPress, and today is Thursday, February 25th, 2021. I'm here to bring you today's 6-game NBA slate. The last couple of days we've been on fire, going 5-0, 5-1, and then yesterday 4-2. All days making a profit, all days coming out here and studying and trying to get these bets in time and make some great bets, man. We've been winning. Let's keep going. Let's keep it on the roll, man. The first game we have today is Dallas Mavericks +5 versus the Philadelphia 76ers. In this one, we got Kristaps Porzingis and Maxi Kleber out. They will not be playing today. Seth Curry on the other side of the ball for the 76ers is probable. The 76ers at home this season are 13-2. And on the other side of the ball, Dallas 7-7 on the road this season. The 76ers are fully healthy. They're getting their last player that was on the injury report, Seth Curry. They're getting him back. They're fully healthy. They're at home. They're 13-2 at home this season. The other side of the ball, the Mavericks are missing both of their big men, KP, Kristaps Porzingis, and Maxi Kleber. I think that's going to be a really big hit here when they need big men to guard Joel Embiid, who's arguably the MVP of this season. So I think the 76ers take this one by more than 5, definitely. So my pick here is going to be the Philadelphia 76ers -5 points over the Dallas Mavericks. That one's a pretty easy one for me today. Going to the second game, we got the Sacramento Kings +1.5 versus the New York Knicks. The total here is 222.5. For the Sacramento Kings, Hassan Whiteside is out with the COVID protocol, but there's also trade rumors going around. I know the Lakers are interested in either getting like Whiteside or DeMarcus Cousins or somebody else to add with Anthony Davis going through what he's going through with his injury to his Achilles and other things like that. So I know Hassan Whiteside is out because of COVID, it says, but there is trade rumors going around, and typically when you got a big center, kind of like the Andre Drummond situation, they don't tend to play you until you get traded, especially if they already have trade talks in the works. The other team doesn't want to risk you getting hurt out there. So he's going to be out today. On the other side of the ball for the New York Knicks, Elfrid Payton, their starting point guard, and Mitchell Robinson are out today, their starting center. So they're missing 2 of their starters in today's game. Head-to-head this season, Sacramento won their only meeting 103-94. In that game, Julius Randle had 26 points, 15 rebounds, and he played 36 minutes. The only other player on the Knicks that game to break 20 points was R.J. Barrett. He had 21. On the other side of the ball, Sacramento's leading scorer was De'Aaron Fox with 22 points. But this was an overall team win. Harrison Barnes had 21, 8 and 7, almost getting a triple-double. And then Halliburton came off the bench. This Halliburton guy is tough. He is tough. But he came off the bench with 16 and 5. Overall, Sacramento really got contributions from everybody on the team to get that win, 103-94 over the Knicks the last time out. And then the Knicks, only Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett pretty much showed up in that matchup to kind of give you a better look on what happened when these teams played each other the last time. Sacramento is on an 8-game losing streak right now. They're on a downslide. And you know what I say about streaks in the NBA. I know they got to win eventually. I get it. But, they're just on a bad streak here, and there's a reason. The Knicks also lost their last game, but they haven't been doing as bad. They're not, on a losing streak. They lost their last game. I think in the last 5, they're, 3-2. They won 3 games, lost 2. The Knicks are at home in this one, and it's only -1.5. So 1 bucket, essentially. This won't be a personal bet of mine. I'm not betting on this game today. Just personally, I don't like either one of these teams. As far as betting, confidence-wise. But my lean here would be to the New York Knicks -1.5 at home versus the Sacramento Kings. And then to take that one in the under 222.5. I know Sacramento Kings this season have been hitting the overs at a rapid pace just because of their lack of defense. But the New York Knicks do play a little bit of defense. They're gritty. They don't allow – they have guards that play defense. They don't allow the other team's guards to just get in the paint, which is what De'Aaron Fox been doing a lot lately. I think this game is just kind of an ugly one, and I'm assuming that today is going to be ugly. So the under the 222 would be my lean. Like I said, I'm not taking that as a bet, but that's where I'd be leaning towards if I was. This next game here, we got the Orlando Magic +8 versus the Brooklyn Nets. And this total is 226.5. On the Magic side of the ball, we got Cole Anthony, Aaron Gordon, Markelle Fultz, and Isaac all still out. I think I've covered like 5 games for the Orlando Magic so far, and it's them same guys been out. With the exception of like Fournier was out too, but he's back. But these guys, all Cole Anthony, Aaron Gordon, Markelle Fultz, Isaac, they've been out for a while. They'll continue to be out here. On the Brooklyn Nets side of the ball, we got Kevin Durant will continue to be out. Jeff Green and Landry Shamet are questionable. That's something to pay attention to. Jeff Green plays pretty good defense. He comes in and gives a spark. Shamet's a guard that also plays pretty good defense. And then Timothy Luwawa Cabarro is probable for this Nets team. This is also a guy that comes in off the bench and gives people, you know, the time on the bench that they need, and he doesn't fall off when he gets on the court. He plays defense. He shoots threes. You know what I mean? So if they got a couple of these guys back that are questionable, I see this game being a blowout. But with all these questionable guys, I still think the Brooklyn Nets have enough firepower just in Kyrie and James Harden to beat this Orlando team, especially without 3 of their starters. Head-to-head this season, Brooklyn is 1-0. The Nets beat the Magic 122 to 115 in their first meeting. But in the first game, KD and Aaron Gordon and a bunch of these other players that are injured did participate. So I think we'll see a different look from both teams this game. Seeing as though, you know, KD's out, Aaron Gordon's out, Markelle Fultz, Quanti. A lot of these players that did play in the last game are out. So they're going to be different lineups, different rotations. But the team that's more hurt is the Orlando Magic right now. Ultimately, I feel like the Nets are the healthier team. Brooklyn on the 7-game win streak. I'm going to ride the hot streak. You know what I say about the hot streaks. And my pick here is going to be Brooklyn Nets minus the 8 points and the over 226.5. Right, getting on to this next game, we got the Los Angeles Clippers minus 7.5 versus the Memphis Grizzlies, and the over-under here is 226.5. On the Clippers side of the ball, Lou Will, Jay Scrubb, and Patterson, they're all out. On the Memphis Grizzlies side of the ball, we got Tilly Jackson Jr. and Porter all out. Dylan Brooks and Justice Winslow are both questionable. So Dylan Brooks here is a key player to be looking at in this game. I know he's not a superstar or anything, but Dylan Brooks does bring fire to this team. He plays defense. He shoots threes. He typically guards some of the better players on the other team. So if he's here, if he's ready to give it a go today, I think he'll make an impact in this game. And then Justice Winslow, he came from the Miami Heat, got traded to Memphis, hasn't played all season. He's questionable. He might be looking to get back in the flow of things. But I highly doubt that he'll come in and just be getting super stupid minutes and shit. Like, he'll probably be on a minutes limit. He'll probably get 15 to 20 minutes. They'll integrate him back into the game before they start. So I don't think he'll have that much of a huge impact on tonight's game. The Clippers are fairly healthy, though. They got Paul George. They got Kawhi. I'm pretty sure everybody's playing today. The Clippers are 11-4 on the road this season. One of the better teams in the league when they travel to go play other teams, especially without having fans in the arena. You know, this team has really just been coming into other people's arenas and treating it like their own. Memphis is just 6-9 at home this season, so even though Memphis is home in this game, they haven't had much home court advantage up to this point in the season. The Clippers are on a 2-game win streak, and they outrank this Memphis team in almost every stat category. My pick here is going to be the Los Angeles Clippers money line just to win the game. I'm not taking that 7.5 in this one, but I will take them just to win the game. And then that one's going to be in the over 226.5. And we got 2 more games here. Let's go ahead and get to this next one. Washington Wizards plus 7.5 versus the Denver Nuggets. The total here is 237. On Washington Wizards side of the ball, Gill, Smith, and Bryant all continue to be out. Denver Nuggets side of the ball, they're still tragically hurt. Like they're missing 3 starters and a backup, essentially. JaMychal Green, Gary Harris, Paul Millsap, Dozier, Whittington. They're all out. And then you got Michael Porter Jr. probable. So Michael Porter Jr. being probable is a good thing for this Nuggets team. He's a scorer. He can play defense. He's lengthy. He's long. They are missing so many players that Michael Porter Jr. being probable here is, you know, it doesn't make up for it, but it does kind of make you think as far as this point spread goes. Head-to-head this season, the Wizards are 1-0. The Wizards won the last time they played against Denver, 130-128. In a thrilling game that came down to a late foul with only 0.8 seconds left on the clock. Bradley Beal drove it to the basket. He gets fouled with 0.8, less than a second left in the game. It was 128-128. Beal hit both of the free throws to put the game away. In that game, Jokic had 33 points, 9 assists, 7 boards. Jamal Murray also added 35 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. These guys have been having to do everything since they're missing 3 of their starting 5. You know, even their 6th man, JaMychal Green, that starts sometimes. These guys have just been having to exert so much energy and score so many points on a nightly basis if they're going to want to win these games. And this is a Washington team that is getting their shit together, basically. And they've been balling out, man. On the other side of the ball in that first game, Bradley Beal had 25 points, 10 assists. Westbrook had a triple-double. He had 12 points, 12 assists, and 13 rebounds. But the majority of Washington's scoring came from their 6-man Bertans. Davies Bertans had 35 points on 9 of 11 shooting, and all 9 of the shots that he made were 3-pointers. And then the rest free throws. He had 8 free throws. At home, Denver have looked a lot better, and they outranked this Washington team in every single stat category. I'm still not sold on Washington, but I'm not too high on Denver either lately with all these injuries. This game's going to be a coin flip for me, but my lean would have to be to the Denver Nuggets money line at home. Even though they are injured, this is a veteran team, and they have had the same core players for, years now, even the backups. And then you got this Washington team that has like maybe 3 or 4 core players that they've been having, and then they added Beal, and Beal been there, he was just hurt, but then they added Westbrook, and then this team is just like, they're finally looking like they're getting it together, but it's not enough for me to convincingly put my money there. Like I said, this isn't going to be a bet I take today, but if I did, my lean would have to go to the Denver Nuggets just to win the game at home in the over 237. And then the last game of the day, we have New Orleans Pelicans +9 versus the Milwaukee Bucks. This total is 240.5. So this is going to be a big game today for you sports bettors that like taking risks. And when I explain kind of what's going on today, you might be more on board with taking that risk and taking the underdog here. I'm thinking, so we got New Orleans Pelicans +9 versus Milwaukee Bucks at home. The total is 240.5. I'm thinking New Orleans Pelicans win this game outright. I'm thinking they just beat the Bucks. They beat them at home. They go in there to get the job done. And here's why. The Pelicans have no listed injuries for this game. On the other side of the ball, the Bucks have Drew Holiday and Jalen Adams still out. Head-to-head this season, the Pelicans are already 1-0 in their first meeting. The Pelicans won that game 131-126. In that matchup, Giannis had 38 points, 11 boards, and 5 assists. They also had Drew Holiday in that game, and he won't be in today's game. He's still on COVID protocol. On the other side of the ball, 4 out of the 5 starters for the Pelicans poured in 20 points apiece. Lonzo and Ingram both had 27 and 28. The rest of the other 2 starters had like 22 or 23, and Steven Adams only had 4. Even though Steven Adams only had 4 points, he was the only starter to not break 20. He did have 20 rebounds in that game. I think the Pelicans stack up pretty well against this Bucks teams, especially since Steven Adams, this is going to be his first game back playing. So they got the height with Steven Adams, Brandon Ingram. They got the strength with Zion. They got the shooters outside with Lonzo, JJ Redick, and everybody. And this Bucks team just hasn't been looking great. They have not been looking great. Like I said, I think the Pelicans stack up well against this Bucks teams here. My safer pick will be the Pelicans +9. So you get 9 points. You could lose by 9 and still win this bet. And the over 240.5. We see the last time they played, it was the total ended in 257. So that's 17 points over what they're asking today, 240.5. So we'll take the over. And then I know there's a lot of people looking for games with the underdogs where you get great odds to where you put $100, you win 400 instead of opposed to putting $100 on a team that's favored to win. You put 100, you only make 90 back, some shit like that. Right here, you should be able to get some great odds on this game. I think the Pelicans money line isn't out of the realm of possibility, especially with the way the Bucks have been struggling lately. I think I'm gonna be bullish on that today, and I think I'm gonna put some money on Pelicans just to win this game. Let's do a quick recap of all my picks of the day. I've been keeping track for the last 3 days. I only been doing this YouTube shit for like a week. I kind of just been keeping track to myself for these last 3 days. But come starting Monday, start of a new week, I'll start keeping track and I'll start putting the score, or not score, but my record, somewhere either in the description, in the title, in the thing up there, so that you guys can kind of keep track of how I'm doing. If I was just to keep a record over the last 3 days, we went 10-1 over 2 days and then 4-2, so 14-3 over 3 days, and we're tearing them off right now, man. It's not that hard to get in where you fit in. I take a lot of games money line because I'm not tripping if I put up $100 and only win 90 back. Now I'm up 90. I know you could lose that 100, but it's a safer bet. It's just to win the game. No point spread, no nothing. This is a way to build your bankroll slowly, but surely. Unless you're one of those players who just like to put in those parlays every day and hopefully you smack for a couple hundred, a couple thousand. I get it. That's cool. That's fun and everything. But if you want to there's nobody consistently just hitting parlays. But there is handicappers out here. Handicappers, which are what they call people like us that break down these games, and either handicappers or sportsbook reviewers or whatever the hell you want to call it. There is people like us that do hit at an incredibly high rate, an incredibly high clip, just on these single games. And I do bet multiple single games a day, so you might have one day where you win 4 bets, lose 2, so you could have profited more, but you lost these 2 games, so then you only profited 200 instead of 400. It is what it is. You don't have to bet every game every day. Pick your favorite ones, study them, find an edge, bet the game, and bet smart, man. Win some money. So my quick recap of my picks of the day. We're going to take the Philadelphia 76ers -5 versus the Dallas Mavericks. We're going to take the Brooklyn Nets just to win the game versus Orlando Magic. We're going to take Clippers money line just to win the game versus the Memphis Grizzlies. We're going to take the Denver Nuggets money line just to win the game versus Washington Wizards. And then we're going to take New Orleans Pelicans plus the 9 versus the Milwaukee Bucks. You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb here too and just add as a separate special underdog of the day. We're going to go, I might start doing that too, underdog of the day. Every slate, it seems like at least one underdog gets a win that day. We could do underdog of the day is going to be the New Orleans Pelicans to beat the Milwaukee Bucks outright at home. The Bucks are at home, but I think Milwaukee comes in here. I think they get the job done. If you guys are interested in money lines and underdogs, Pelicans would be the team to take today. That's going to do it for me, man. Make sure you guys comment, like, subscribe. It means a lot, man. I just started this a week ago. We're already up to like, I think 18 subscribers, something like that. Almost 1,000 hours watched. Almost 500 views. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys. Also, I seen in the analytics, it shows like 49% of the people that watch this are actually subscribed, and then 52% that watch this aren't subscribed. Those of you who aren't subscribed, I get it. You click on the link and it brings you to the web browser instead of like your actual YouTube where you're signed in. If you can for me, if you're on the web browser, or if you don't have a YouTube, you could just make one real quick. Or if you're on the web browser, sign in real quick hit that subscribe button. It only takes a couple seconds. It really helps me out. It helps my channel grow. It helps, get me on the recommended so I get other people watching and bring other people to the channel and things like that. I really appreciate all the support you guys are giving me. You could follow me over on Instagram at FullCourtPress Clothing. This is actually one of our shirts that we have out. We have Apply Pressure shirts out. This is a full court press with the definition. By extension, an aggressive and increased effort to win or accomplish something. And that's all we're trying to do here, man. We're trying to full court press every single day. I want everybody to try to be the best at what they do. Try to go out and do more than you did yesterday. Impact these kids, man, with peace and tranquility, man. There's too much going on in the world today. We don't need to be, adding fuel to the fire. That's it for me, though. You can follow me on Twitch at FullCourtPress FCP. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm out.